Leger Research releases the top 10 companies or brands in Canada, and Tim Hortons usually makes that list. However, this year, not only did the company fall out of the top 10, they dropped all the way to 50th. So has the Tim Hortons brand been permanently coffee stained? Here's our branding expert, Tony Chapman, with more on this. And Tony, what's happened here? Why the fall for Tim Hortons?
Fall. It's a free fall without a parachute from 4th to 50th. You want to win over a consumer, you have to win over their head and their heart. Tim Hortons did such a great job. What did I think about Tim Hortons? Affordable food, great value, unpretentious, heart, Canadian, great place to meet. It had everything going, and it had the loyalty. And
okay, so where did it all go wrong?
Well, they were bought by a Brazilian company, 3G, and they started to carve out costs, and they hoped to fry up some profits, change the food, change the coffee, chuck a lot of people out of head office, and when it began a war with the franchisees. All of this turned into, from the sense of, I love Tim Hortons, to this festering sore that they can't get rid of. So what we're seeing now with Canadians are going, well, you know what, I can get coffee at McDonald's or Starbucks. So now Tim Hortons is caught in the middle instead of leading the train. And you know what, there's better places to get food. So their transactions are down, their sales are down, and they're trying to rebrand with Tim Horton posters, the hockey player and stuff. They don't fix this soon. Tim Hortons, this brand that we all thought was going to be around forever, is going to be in trouble.
Okay, because you're right, there's more choice than ever when it comes to coffee and confections. But having said that, Tim Hortons has always been seen as the quintessential Canadian brand, and seemingly have built up goodwill really over decades in this country. Is that not enough to keep it going?
Well, how did they do that? They had great ads. The guy watering the rink. You sent your Tim Hortons over to the troops in Afghanistan. All those emotional advertising they cut. They started doing value, price points. They tried to get into the latte business against the artisans. So the plot has been shifting. And the only way they'll get it back, and it might be too late because there is a lot of choice, and once you fall in love with another coffee, it's very tough to break that habit. The way they have to get it back is they have to rediscover what made them special. Great food, they got to bake their products fresh, forget this frozen dough, it's not working. Regain that sort of coffee magic that they once had, and have the franchisees start being friends instead of foes. And if they do that, hopefully they can stem the tide. I don't think they'll ever get back into the favorite list, because now you're just kind of saying it's a coffee shop. Once that's in your mind, once that positioning's there and that seed's planted and starting to grow, it's very difficult to excavate that and regain what you used to have, especially with that emotional connection.
Well, you're identifying a host of difficulties and/or problems for Tim Hortons. What is the #1 thing they need to do immediately, do you think, if we brought you into the Tim Hortons
boardroom? If I had a magic
boardroom?
wand, sell it to a Canadian company. You know, get a Galen Weston or a Loblaw or someone to say, we're going to bring it back and regain the Canadian roots. They're not going to do that. It's obviously a big venture capital thing. They got, just what I said, fix your food, fix your coffee. Most importantly, fix your relationship with franchisees, because if they're not buying into what you're saying, if it's not one team, if it's not about we and a collaborative culture versus me versus you, you're fighting internally. It's very difficult to fight for consumers externally.
All right, our branding expert Tony Chapman with us on this Friday morning. Tony, thanks as always. Have a great weekend.
Thanks.